Welcome back to our channel, your ultimate source for the most gripping updates, deep dives, and exclusive insights into the dramatic world. Today is a truly beautiful day to unravel the tangled webs of deception, heartbreak, and dangerous secrets brewing in our favorite city. Grab a warm cup of coffee, settle in, and let us explore these shocking twists together. Intuition is often the only shield one has against the creeping darkness of deception. For Kat, this intuition has recently transformed into a chilling, undeniable dread regarding the enigmatic Haley. Kat has always possessed a sharp eye for hidden agendas, but as she quietly observes Haley's interactions, a horrifying theory begins to take root in her mind. She strongly suspects that Haley is far more than just a superficial, money-hungry opportunist looking for a quick payout. The terrifying reality that Kat is beginning to piece together suggests that Haley might actually be a predatory Black Widow, a dangerous woman who systematically hunts down wealthy, vulnerable men for her own sinister financial gains. Every time Kat listens to Haley speak, she catches subtle but glaring contradictions in her stories. There is a calculated rhythm to Haley's deceit, a web of lies that seems designed to isolate and control. What truly makes Kat's blood run cold, however, is the relentless manner in which Haley pushes Bill, coupled with the alarming, precipitous decline of his physical health. The correlation between Haley's arrival and Bill's deterioration is too stark to ignore. Despite the overwhelming urge to expose Haley immediately, Kat makes a strategic and incredibly difficult decision. She resolves not to rush into a direct confrontation. She knows that striking without absolute, irrefutable proof would only allow Haley to slip away. Kat commits herself to working in the shadows, meticulously gathering evidence, fully aware that if her horrifying suspicions are correct, Bill's life is in imminent danger. Meanwhile, the atmosphere inside Bill's hospital room is thick with tension and an unsettling sense of impending doom. Bill, confined to his bed and battling a mysterious, debilitating illness, is in a state of immense physical and emotional fragility. Yet, his vulnerability is masked by a fierce, almost irrational defensiveness. The sterile environment of the hospital provides no sanctuary from the toxic drama swirling around his life. It is within these four walls that a pivotal and explosive moment occurs. As he lies there, supposedly resting, Bill overhears a hushed but intense conversation just outside his door. Chelsea and Caroline, deeply concerned and highly suspicious of the new woman in Bill's life, are openly gossiping about Haley's true motives. The words that drift into Bill's room are sharp and condemning. Chelsea and Caroline express their genuine fears that Haley is nothing more than a manipulative grifter who is exploiting Bill's wealth and affection. They voice the very real possibility that she is already betraying him or, worse, actively plotting his downfall. Hearing these accusations does not spark a moment of clarity or caution in Bill. Instead, it ignites a blinding, volcanic rage. He vehemently rejects their concerns, categorizing their valid suspicions as nothing more than cruel, unfounded prejudices born out of jealousy. Bill is absolutely furious that his friends would dare to speak so poorly of the woman he loves. His reaction is a textbook display of a man deeply entrenched in the dangerous psychology of denial. The tragedy of Bill's situation is magnified by the depth of his unconditional love for Haley. This profound affection has completely warped his judgment, causing him to overlook the most glaring red flags. Every single day, Haley brings him mysterious, foul-tasting concoctions, drinks that are supposedly meant to aid his recovery, but are, in reality, utterly disgusting and highly suspicious. Bill swallows these daily doses without a second thought, his love acting as a blindfold to the potential poison he might be ingesting. He continues to fiercely deny the dark truth about Haley, choosing instead to believe in the fabricated angelic image she projects. When he confronts Chelsea and Caroline, he fiercely defends Haley, insisting that their doubts are toxic and asserting with absolute certainty that his feelings for her are genuine. The truly terrifying aspect of this dynamic is that the more Bill fights to protect Haley from the scrutiny of his friends, the more isolated he becomes, and consequently, the easier he is for her to control. Haley is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Whenever the topic of his failing health arises, she smoothly and convincingly assures Bill that his deteriorating condition is strictly a medical issue, a natural progression of his illness that has nothing to do with her care. She plays the role of the devoted, misunderstood caregiver to perfection. She looks him in the eye and swears she has never had any intention of harming or poisoning him. Furthermore, she expertly flips the narrative, playing the victim by expressing her deep hurt over the malicious women in his life who view her with such disdain. Haley's manipulative prowess is not limited to her interactions with Bill. She is equally calculated and ruthless when dealing with her rivals. This is perfectly illustrated in a seemingly petty but highly strategic confrontation with Danny. In a move designed purely to provoke and assert dominance, Haley deliberately knocks over and shatters Danny's expensive sunglasses right in front of Bill. The crunch of the designer frames is loud in the tense silence of the room. Haley immediately offers an apology, but it is dripping with insincerity. Her eyes hold a mocking glint, revealing that the act was entirely intentional. It is not an accident. It is a calculated invasion of Danny's personal boundaries, a deliberate attempt to infuriate her, and a bold declaration that Haley is not intimidated by Danny in the slightest. Danny, a woman who places an immense amount of value on her outward appearance, her social status, and her carefully curated public image, reacts with a fierce, burning intensity. To the untrained observer, it might seem like an overreaction over a material possession, but the reality is far deeper. Danny's fury is not about the financial cost of replacing the shattered sunglasses. It is entirely about the brazen disrespect and the deliberate insult Haley has just delivered. By destroying something of Danny's in front of the man they are both connected to, Haley has launched a direct assault on Danny's pride and dignity. Danny recognizes the shattered lenses for what they truly are, a psychological weapon designed to humiliate her and establish Haley as the alpha in the room. While the psychological warfare rages on in Bill's hospital room, a completely different kind of terror is gripping Andre. He is currently spiraling into a state of absolute panic, his days and nights haunted by a relentless barrage of mysterious, threatening text messages. The unknown sender seems to know too much, pushing Andre to the brink of a nervous breakdown. Desperate for answers and a way to stop the psychological torture, Andre turns to Smitty, begging him to use his technological expertise to trace the source of the digital harassment. Smitty's investigation yields a terrifying result. The person terrorizing Andre is not some distant hacker, but someone operating in extremely close physical proximity to them. The tension for Andre reaches a breaking point when he receives yet another message, this one containing a cryptic photograph of two women. The image sends a jolt of pure, unadulterated fear through his veins, amplifying his insecurities to a fever pitch. The timing of this escalating blackmail could not be worse, as it perfectly coincides with a casual conversation he has with Danny. Completely unaware of the turmoil inside Andre, Danny cheerfully recounts tales from her recent travels to London. During her storytelling, she drops a bombshell wrapped in a casual introduction. She has brought a new friend back with her, a woman named Heather. The moment the name leaves Danny's lips, and the instant Andre lays eyes on Heather, his entire demeanor shifts. He is visibly stunned, physically recoiling, and attempting to avoid any interaction. Andre's visceral, panicked reaction to Heather does not go unnoticed. Danny, always observant, immediately picks up on the sudden shift in the atmosphere. She watches Andre's desperate attempts to evade Heather and instantly suspects that the two of them share a dark, unspoken history. The pieces of the puzzle begin to align in Danny's mind. The mysterious text messages that have been driving Andre to the edge of sanity seem to be intrinsically linked to Heather's sudden appearance in their lives. It becomes increasingly clear that the anonymous blackmailer is methodically, step by step, exposing a deeply buried past that Andre has fought desperately to keep hidden. The ghosts of his previous actions have arrived in the flesh. In another corner of the city, a deeply personal and heartbreaking tragedy is unfolding within the walls of Ted and Leslie's home. Their daughter Eva is sinking deeper and deeper into a profound psychological crisis, a dark abyss of trauma that seems to have no bottom. Eva has developed an extreme, paralyzing obsession with the physical scars that mar her body. To her, these marks are not just reminders of a past injury, they are hideous, permanent deformities that she believes carry the literal essence of Kat's hatred toward her. Eva spends hours staring at her reflection, her mind playing cruel tricks on her. She hallucinates, constantly feeling the weight of Kat's imagined, hateful glare burning into her skin. This relentless mental torture transforms her anxiety into extreme self-loathing and terrifying panic. Witnessing their beloved daughter's rapid deterioration is a torment unlike any other for her parents. The situation reaches a devastating crescendo when Leslie, unable to bear the sight of Eva's agonizing mental collapse any longer, completely breaks down. Tears streaming down her face, Leslie descends into a state of sheer panic, screaming out in a desperate, gut-wrenching plea to her husband. "Ted, help her!" Eva is truly losing control. She cries out, the raw pain of a helpless mother echoing through the house. However, this desperate cry for help only serves to fracture their marriage further. The overwhelming sense of powerlessness breeds resentment, leading to a bitter and explosive argument between the couple. Leslie angrily blames Ted, accusing him of failing to find a viable solution to heal their daughter. Ted's response is born of pure, unadulterated desperation. He defensively fires back at Leslie, his voice cracking with emotion as he insists that he is doing absolutely everything in his power, trying every possible avenue to save their little girl. The tragic irony is that their fierce arguments over how to save Eva only serve to isolate her further. As the shouting matches escalate, Eva becomes even more panicked and withdrawn, retreating deeper into the suffocating darkness of her trauma. The walls of her mind are closing in, and both Ted and Leslie are forced to confront the horrifying realization that despite their immense love for her, Eva's condition is deteriorating rapidly, becoming significantly more severe and dangerous with each passing day. Meanwhile, the neon-lit, chaotic environment of the local casino serves as the backdrop for a revelation that threatens to upend yet another life. Joey, navigating the high-stakes world he operates in, runs into Vanessa. What starts as a seemingly innocuous encounter quickly turns into a nightmare when Vanessa casually reveals a piece of information that strikes Joey like a physical blow. She has recently met his sister. For Joey, this confirms his worst fears. He had been praying that the rumors were false, but Vanessa's confirmation solidifies the terrifying reality that Heather has indeed arrived in town. The ghost from his family's past is no longer a distant memory. She is a present, breathing threat, walking the very same streets he does. Joey's mounting anxiety is heavily fueled by the detailed, chilling reports he has been receiving from Randy. Randy has been meticulously tracking Heather's movements, and his findings paint a picture of a woman who is moving with purpose. Randy recounts every detail to a hyperventilating Joey, from spotting Heather's name on the incoming flight passenger manifest to watching her confidently slide into a waiting car, stopping for a coffee at a local cafe, and eventually disappearing into a movie theater. This step by step documentation of Heather's arrival proves that she is integrating herself into the city. But what truly terrifies Joey is the realization that Heather is rapidly becoming close friends with both Vanessa and Danny. This newfound proximity between his estranged sister and the women in his immediate social circle is a recipe for absolute disaster. Joey is a man who lives a double life, harboring dark secrets and engaging in clandestine, highly questionable jobs that he has fought tooth and nail to keep hidden from the light of day. The thought of Heather, someone who knows his history and possesses the potential to unravel his carefully constructed lies, infiltrating the lives of Vanessa and Danny, is his ultimate nightmare. He is paralyzed by the fear that his two worlds are about to violently collide. If Heather begins to speak, or if she accidentally uncovers the truth about his current illicit activities, the life Joey has built will be completely destroyed.